Hey guys, it's been a little while since I made a video. Here in the last couple of months, my wife and I have been able to get out and do a little shopping, and on some of the trips that we've taken, I have been able to pick up a few graphic novels and trade paperbacks. We were on a little trip and we ran across a huge indoor flea market. If any of you guys are from out west, you probably know it as a swap meet. Anyway, went in and there was one vendor, which in this huge place kind of surprised me. It went but one. There was one guy that had comics, and to be quite honest, a lot of 99% of what he had was Drek, and the other 1% was, well, anyway, it was that 1% that I looked at. He had a box full of trade paperbacks and graphic novels, things like that, and he was selling them for, there was one box that was $2 and one box was $1, and there was pretty good stuff in there. We also ran into a Books A Million, which over the past month and a half, Books A Million has been having a huge sale on their graphic novels and trade paperbacks. Not all of them, but they have been putting a good many out really cheap, and I got a good many from them too. Anyway, these have kind of been mixed up. Like I said, this is stuff I've gotten over the past couple months, but anyway, it's some good stuff. So let's go ahead and get started. I picked up Superman, Greatest Stories Ever Told, Volume 2. This one has in it the very first Mr. Mxyzptlk story, the first team up between Brainiac and Lex Luthor, and several other great Silver Age, Bronze Age stories that were put out in Action Comics and the Superman comic. Just really good stuff. Got that one for I think that's one I paid $2 for. Batman Through the Looking Glass. This one was in the guy's dollar box. I like Sam Keith's artwork. Not particularly fond of it on Batman, but for $1, it's a Mad Hatter story, so I thought it looked it'd be worth $1. Even if I read it and hate it, I can always take it to my local comic shop and get store credit for it. Also picked up The Spirit. Look through these. This is a collection of some of the issues from the early 2010s that they did. I've always liked The Spirit as a character. Read quite a bit of the Will Eisner stuff that was done back in the 40s, and got several trade paperbacks with that stuff in it. It's really good stuff. Anyway, that one was $1. This one, Legion of Superheroes, Death of a Dream. This one was in his $2 box. I'm a Legion fan. For $2, this one looked pretty good, so picked it up. Supergirl and Legion of Superheroes, Dominator War. Again, Legion fan, so thought I'd pick it up. This is one I got from Books A Million. I debated on whether to get this one or not. I'm not a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan, but this story looked like it would be, pretty cool, and for $2, why not? This I was very happy to find. Crisis on Multiple Earths, Volume 4 for $2, and Volume 2. These collect those classic JSA, JLA crossovers from the 1960s, 70s, and they're just really good stories with really good art. This one, as a matter of fact, reprints the first meeting between Shazam and Superman from one of those crossovers, but I think Shazam was called Captain Thunder in that issue. Anyway, just good stuff. I've got the original issues of these, most of them anyway. So, but this is still nice to have, just to be able to pull out and read. Got Superman Escape from Bizarro World. The artwork in this is done by Eric Powell, who does The Goon. And Richard Donner had a hand in this. As you know, Richard Donner was the guy who directed the original Superman movie. Just, really cool stuff. The artwork is very apropos of Bizarro World. Powell has a knack for just creating these bizarre looking and kind of scary at the same time characters, and this looked like a really cool story. Picked up Superman Returns, the prequels. This one was $1. Yeah, I haven't gotten the stickers off of them yet. I kind of put them on the shelf and been kind of reading them along and along. Anyway, this one, Bryan Singer, who was the director for Superman Returns, had a hand in this one, and the stuff that's in here looked pretty cool, so thought I'd pick it up. Picked up Batman Superman Volume 1, Cross World. I'm not a huge New 52 fan of most of it. Most of it, in my opinion, is not very good, but this one, flipping through it, I mean, it's got Batman and Superman in it, and I always like the old World's Finest comics from the back in the 80s, 70s and 80s. So thought I'd pick this one up to read it again. If I don't read it and it's not any good, I can always use it my local comic shop for store credit. Pick this one up for $2. This is Stieg Larsson's Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and this is a hardcover. I watched the movie and I liked it, and I thought, flipping through it, this seemed to capture the movie very well, so thought I'd pick it up and read it again. I can always use it for store credit. It's not all that great. Anyway, get these out of the way. Picked up Marvel's Companion. These are this goes along with, if most everybody's familiar with the Marvels series that was put out. It was Alex Ross stuff that was done in the early 2000s, I think. Anyway, this is all painted stories that go along with that. I mean, it's a thick book. So, guy had it for a couple of bucks, so figured why not. All right. Picked up Vigilante, Volume 1. This series, in my opinion, is one of the more underrated series of the 1980s. The first 20 to 25 issues or so are actually pretty good. You've got some Alan Moore written stories in here. I know Alan Moore wrote number 17, issue number 17. It's called Father's Day. It was just a really good story, and a lot of the stuff, and Marv Wolfman wrote the majority of these, but it's got good art. It's got George Perez art, Chuck Patton art, Keith Pollard art, Ross Andru, Don Newton. I mean, this has got some really good artists in it that did these stories, and the writing is good too. This came out about the same time as Dark Knight Returns and Watchmen and Crisis on Infinite Earth, so it kind of got buried under all of that. I think it may have came out a little earlier. Maybe it came out in '84, maybe. But nonetheless, it got buried because there was a lot of really good stuff that came out about that same time as this character did, and I think it just got lost in the shuffle, because a lot of the comics back then were just better than anything you're going to see today. But anyway, if you can find this, pick it up. If you see any of the old Vigilante pre-issue number 25 in dollar boxes or 50-cent boxes or just cheap boxes, pick up a couple of issues and read them. Just see what you think. I picked this up because I remember the series and I remember reading several issues. But again, I mean, there was so much good stuff you couldn't buy it all, and this one I think got kind of buried. But anyway, good stuff. Picked up a good many JSA trades. Got volume. This is volume number 2, which is Darkness Falls. This one reprints. Let me see which issues this is. This is JSA. Should have written this down before I did it. JSA number 6 through number 15. Just good stuff. Jeff Johns written stuff from that series. I've got the original issues, but again, this is just one of those things where it's just nice to have something you can pick up and read. This is JSA Return of Hawkman. This reprints number 16 through number 26. Again, just, really, really good stuff. Really good stuff. This next one is called Fair Play. Reprints number 26 through, I think, number 31, maybe. Anyway, this series was excellent, really good, and I thought I'd pick these up just again so I don't have to try to find the original issues and pull those out and read those. End up tearing those to shreds, rereading them. This one is volume number 7, Princes of Darkness. This reprints, I think, number 46 through number 55. Pretty sure there is the latter part of this. There is an Eclipso appearance, and that leads into this one, Black Rain. This reprints a couple of issues of Hawkman and JSA 56 to 58. Just good stuff, man. Just good stuff. Let's see this one here. This next one is JSA Mixed Signals. This reprints number 76 through number 81. Again, this series was one of my favorites. I'm a big JSA fan anyway, but this series in particular, it had really good writers on it and good artwork, great artwork. And this is volume number 12. This reprints number 82 through the end of the series, number 87. This story made the Gentleman Ghost look like, well, I was going to use an off-color word, but it makes him look pretty dang formidable. Let's just put it that way. I mean, this was a Gentleman Ghost, But anyway, this story did a good job of making him look, like somebody you didn't want to mess with. And picked up Justice Society. This is the next series. This is, well, anyway, it's The Bad Seed. It reprints, I think, number 29 through number 33. This is a Bill Willingham story. If I'm not mistaken, Willingham is a guy who did the series Fables. Anyway, this is just, again, I'm a big Justice Society fan, so picked it up for a couple of bucks. Anyway, that is my haul. Hopefully here in the next month or two I'll be able to get out and actually get some comics. That wasn't anyway, the guy at the flea market, he had some, but like I said, they just weren't very good. Anyway, hope you saw something that maybe spurred you to get out, maybe pull out some old comics that you've got, or maybe go out and buy some or whatever. But anyway, any of that Justice Society stuff, I'm telling you, if you find that stuff in cheap bins, you know, pick them up. Try to pick a story arc up and just read it. There's very few of those story arcs in this series that weren't excellent. This one too. These were really good too. Especially, my favorite was the Kingdom Come arc they did from like issue number 6 or 7 through like number 18, something like that. Anyway, just really good stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.